Welcome to the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapons series. I'm your host, Captain Matt, and today we're talking the best time to buy a boat. So, when you look at the best time to buy a boat, there's a few things that you may be wondering is when's the best time to buy to get the lowest price, to get the best price? When's the best time to buy where there's the best selection, where you can actually get what you want? When's the best time to buy if you're ordering a boat? And the answers vary on each of those pieces. So I'm going to share you the insights of what's going on in the industry, what the supply and demand looks like. Of course, we're brought to you by the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon Toolkit, which you can pick up at the website. Questions to ask, checklist to make sure you buy the right boat, information on trades, boat loans, boat insurance. There's a new cost of ownership calculator that's really valuable if you're a first-time buyer, as well as some 2 bonus videos that you can't find on the channel that we're sharing if you request that, and it's yours free to help you buy the right boat for you and your family. So let's start with, as we're looking, let's start with the demand and supply that's going on with boat inventory. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can go to the YouTube channel or go to boatbuyersecretweapon.com and you can find the video of the images that I'm discussing here. So in this graph, we're looking at the search volume. So this is the demand month by month, and then the inventory levels of boats that are available for sale. So as you look, starting in January, you can see the supply, or the demand side, the search side is pretty flat. And it kind of bumps up a little bit in February, dips down a little bit, and it starts heading up as you hit March and April. What's going on there is most of the search volume is around boat shows that are going on in the local level. So as the boat show hits in the local market, the search volume goes up. There's more demand during that boat show. There's people buying boats, ordering boats, and then it continues to go as the warmer weather comes and the weather pattern in your area, especially if you're in the freezing climates. If it warms up quicker, the demand will start sooner. If it warms up later and your ice out's a little bit later than usual, then that demand may start a little bit later in your area. So it continues to climb up. April, May, dips down a little bit and then starts going back up as we hit towards July 4th. And Memorial Day is the first peak. It dips down after Memorial Day. July 4th, it peaks up again. It dips down as we hit towards Labor Day. It peaks up a little bit, and then it dips down. And then the demand side continues to go down until you hit October, November, December. Most of the demand in the fall season it goes into the cruisers and some of the bigger boats. That demand stays kind of peaks up as you hit some of the cooler seasons. Now, what's going on with inventory levels? So new and used boats that are on the market. Well, in January, the inventory levels are fairly low, but dealers are adding to their inventory, getting ready for the busy selling season, getting ready for the boat show. And what happens, if you haven't watched our video where we talk about the insider secrets of the boating industry, we talk about this in more detail, but it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to build a new boat on average. That's assuming everything's running smoothly, supply chain's working the way it should. So in order to get the inventory out to the dealer network on the new boat side, the manufacturers are building in the off season and shipping them out to the dealers as soon as they can. And even as the snow is piling up in the dealerships, they're packing their inventory with new boats so that they're ready for that demand as boat show season hits in January, February, March, and then the real buying season starts in April, May, June, July, and as that demand increases. So the dealers are increasing their supply. As you hit about end of May, July, towards the 4th of July, you start seeing that demand start dipping down. And dealers plan this. Dealers want, as they hit June, they want their inventory levels to be at a certain point because they know that their new boats, the next model years, are going to start coming out in August and September, which means that they can start replenishing their inventory for the following selling season. So they want to hit that downward trend about June-ish, and it depends where you are in North America. We're talking here, but it depends where you are, what your weather patterns, the boats that you carry. So aluminum fishing boats, cruisers tend to sell a little bit more in the fall, but overall, they want that level to start coming down. So what does this all mean for you as a buyer? Well, it means if selection is important to you and you want to walk into a dealership and you want to say, I want that boat there, new or used, it doesn't matter. Your supply is going to be best in that early part of April and May. That's when you kind of have your best selection, maybe into June. As you get to the end of the season, the options are going to be going down significantly. As you hit September and October, you're going to be at the lowest levels, and then it's going to start to tail up as you hit November, December, because the next year models are going to be coming in. There's going to be some trades that have come in, some boats that have come in of people that said, hey, we had a great season, we enjoyed it, but we're getting out of boating. They may sell it to the dealer. They may ask the dealer to consign it so they don't have to pay for winterizations. They don't have to pay for storage. So the used boat inventory picks up a little bit as well in that October, November, December timeframe. Now, if you're going to buy a boat, you have to remember that it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the type of boat that you're looking at. The bigger, the more complicated the boat is. So, a 16-foot center console is going to be on the shorter side. 40-foot cruiser with twin diesels and a generator air conditioning is going to probably take 10, 12, maybe even more time to build that. So depends on the type of boat. So if you're looking to say, hey, I want to have my boat ready in April or May when the weather starts warming up, when do I need to order my boat? And understand that just because you order your boat in January doesn't mean they start building your boat that next day. There's actually production slots and they'll fit you in. So if you're looking to get your boat delivered in April or May, you may want to start thinking about ordering your boat in September, October, November, or December so that you can get that production spot. They have the 6 to 8 weeks to build it. It's shipped and transported to you because you got to figure that time in depending on where the manufacturer is and where you're located, so that the dealer can then rig the boat because they have to take off the shrink wrap, get everything ready, maybe mount the motor, mount the bimini top, put the batteries, the fuel in, start that engine up. They've got to take care of all that, which can take a little bit of time, and that you're ready to be on the water with no delay. So that's sort of the cycle that you need to be aware of. Now, so the question was, when's the best time to buy a boat? Well, one of the great times to buy a boat is the boat show. Now, boat shows typically happen January, February, March in your area, maybe in one of those months. There's also a handful of fall boat shows and winter boat shows around the country. Although right now in COVID times, boat shows are kind of off the table. But I have a sense that there's going to be some virtual events. There's still going to be a boat show type environment where you can buy. Now, it's a great opportunity for a couple of reasons. Is one, in the real boat show environment, it's a very competitive environment, which means that if you're looking at a Chaparral, the Sea Ray and Cobalt dealer are right across the aisle. If you're looking at a Sea Hunt, the Key West dealer and the Sportsman dealer is right next door. So it's a very competitive environment, and they know that they can just walk 30 yards away and they can look at a very similar boat and maybe get a better deal. And once they buy that, we've lost our opportunity forever. So they get pretty aggressive with their prices at the boat show. The other thing that makes me like boat shows as a good time to buy is the manufacturers understand that's the environment they're in, and they will put rebate money, give rebate money to their dealers in some situations and say, hey, on this boat, you've got an extra 500,000, 3,000, 5,000, maybe more, depending on the boat that you're looking at, dollars of rebate. And the way that works is when they go to order their next boat, the dealer gets that discount on the next boat. So it's actual real cash savings that's coming from the manufacturer to that dealer, which is then passed on to you. The engine manufacturers have the same type of thing. They know that you can buy a Mercury or a Yamaha or a Suzuki or a Mercruiser or a Volvo, and once you buy it, they lost their opportunity to sell you that engine. So the manufacturers of the engines sometimes offer extended warranties to the dealers to offer to you as the consumer. So at a boat show, you can get extra incentives from the manufacturers in the form of real cash rebates, or extended warranties, which, on let's say a 150 outboard, that might be a $1,500, $2,000 value for an extra 3 or 4 or 5 years of warranty, depending on what they're offering, which is incredibly valuable. It lowers the risk, and one of the reasons you buy new. The other thing that happens is that competition is gonna put that salesperson and that dealership owner or general manager in a very you have more power in that situation, because all you have to say is, hey, and I encourage you to do this, is, hey, I'm gonna go look at the whatever their toughest competitor is, or whatever the 2 or 3 other boats that you're looking at, and that's going to put the price pressure on them to really sharpen their pencil and give you their best numbers. If you're looking on the used side, what happens is at the boat show, a lot of new boats are purchased, which means that there's a lot of trades that come in. So as that inventory is low in January, February, March, there's actually an influx of used boats available, because people buy their new boats, they have their current boat that they trade in, or they're going to sell on their own. So there's a nice selection of used boats, and that inventory level of used boats starts going up during that boat show season. On the negative side, you're going to be buying your boat in what can be somewhat an emotional environment. So you really have to keep your emotions in check to make sure you don't make a decision just because it looks shiny and nice on the showroom floor of the boat show, where the lights are great, the atmosphere is great, you've had a couple of beers, there's people around spending money, and you get caught up in the moment and you make a bad decision. That's where having that boat buyer toolkit with you as you walk the boat show can be really valuable, keep you on track, make sure you buy the right boat, and you don't get distracted by all the excitement and just the fun of the boat show, and make a decision that may not be right for you. Now, the next time that can be a great time to buy a boat is the fall and winter. So we talked about the negative is that at that time in the fall, that inventory is coming down. The advantage that gives you is the dealer knows, hey, I can either sell this in November or December, or I'm probably going to have to hold it till March, April, May, when that demand peaks up again. So for them, they're holding a depreciating asset. They know every month that they hold that boat, the value of it is going to continue to drop. And they also are likely financing that boat on their floor plan. So dealers don't pay cash for their boats in most situations. They're actually going to get credit, buy it on credit. They may pay interest for a period of time, but there hits a point where they have to not only make interest payments, but they have to make curtailment payments, which is actual cash flow going out to pay for the boat in the time of year where their revenues are really, really slow. So they are much more aggressive in discounting as you hit that October, November, December timeframe, because one, there's not many people shopping. Two, their cash flow, they're looking at that and saying, oh man, we got to get through to the boat show. We've got all these expenses, and man, it sure would be nice to make a sale, get rid of that cash flow with the interest and curtailment payments, and bring a chunk of cash in this time of year. On the downside for you as a consumer, there may not be exactly what you want on the showroom floor, but you can get a pretty good deal. Now, the thing to consider is, are you buying the previous year model, or are you buying the new model that's just coming out? So in today's situation, are you buying a 2020 model, or are you buying a 2021? Because when you go to sell that, your boat's either going to be a year newer or a year older, and it's just something to consider. But it can allow people to give a really big savings and really negotiate hard with the dealer to get a great deal, because they're highly motivated, and you are, hey, there's snow on the ground. It's not boating season. I'm not going to be taking this out for family vacation tomorrow, so you're not in a position where you have to make a decision, which puts you in the strong negotiating spot. So the other thing, if you're buying a boat, the boat show and the fall and winter months, I think, are great times. One of the strategies I like for new boat buyers that are ordering a boat to do is, one, you can order your boat in October or November. So you're ordering in a time when the dealer is probably a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more excited to sell a boat. They've got a little bit more time to work with you. And if you work with them, you can say, hey, listen, when this boat gets delivered, if the manufacturer has incentives on the motor, cash incentives, I want to make sure I get those incentives. And you write that onto your order agreement when you're picking out your options and your colors and your motor and all of that. And you make sure that if there are incentives that come out during boat show season, that you get to take advantage of those. And so now you get ahead of the line in production, so you know your boat's going to be there when the weather warms up, and you're going to be ready to rock and roll. But you don't actually have to put all of the cash out, just whatever deposit they require when you order a boat. You don't have to put all of your cash out until you take delivery, and you may just be able to take advantage of some of the incentives as well that come along boat show time. So you almost double dip when you order in that way. So I really like that strategy. On the used boat side, the advantages are, hey, virtually nobody is shopping for used boats. On the negative side, depending on where you are, hey, you may not be able to run that boat, which puts a lot of risk on you. You may not even have that option. You may be able to run it out of hose and get a pretty good idea. But at that point, it's really, really important to do a thorough inspection, do the compression check, which I encourage you to watch our used boat inspection videos so that you can really get a sense for what you're doing. If you're a first-time boat buyer, may not be the right time to buy if you can't put the boat on the water. Now that applies to people up north in Canada and in the upper Midwest and things like that. But if you can't, that's a problem. If the water is navigable, it's not frozen over, you're not in the ice season, what you can do is you can tell the seller, listen, I won't buy this boat unless we run it, but if I don't run it, I will pay to have it re-winterized for you, because that will be their big concern, that, hey, if I take this out, then I gotta re-winterize it, and it's that's going to cost me. So you say, hey, I'll take that risk on me. I'll pay for that if I don't buy the boat, but at least you know you're not going to buy something that has some sort of issue with it. So that's the fall and the winter time frame, which is a great time to really negotiate. But remember, there are some negatives with it. Now, the third best time to buy a boat is when you say, hey, we're ready. We're ready to buy a boat. It could be in the heat of the season and you decide you want to get on the water by the 4th of July. Hey, you may not get the full savings that you would, but it's only going to be a couple $1,000s in most cases, and you're going to get on the water right away, and you're going to start enjoying the boat and having fun. So don't wait that next season. Don't put it off just so you can save a little bit of money, because let me shoot you straight. You are not buying a boat to save money. Yes, you don't want to overpay, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit, but you buy a boat for the family relaxation, for building relationships, because you deserve it, because you work hard and you're successful, and this is going to be your vacation during the weekend, vacation during the week. This is going to be your getaway, and you're going to build so many memories. You're going to build the relationship with your family and friends and kids that, in my mind, you just can't do any other way. So don't let a few $1,000s keep you from making the decision when you decide that you're ready. If that's, 2 weeks before Memorial Day, if that's the week of 4th of July, hey, that's fine. Just make the decision and do everything you can to negotiate and get the best possible deal. But don't wait, because you'll regret it. You'll regret it to all of those lost memories, all that lost fun. Now, with that said, if you are looking to make that decision to buy the boat, new, used, whatever it is, you don't want to overpay. That's why we've created our magic money saving method, to ensure that you don't overpay for your boat. It will save you hundreds, it'll likely thousands, and for some people it'll even save them tens of thousands of dollars. And there's been hundreds and hundreds of people that have used this method that we've shared with them. You can go to boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/save and you can check that out. It's one of the ways we support this channel, so there is a cost to it, but I promise you, if you're going to buy a boat, this method will save you money. It's a step-by-step process that you go through, exactly what to say, and it will, it'll save you a lot of money. So go check that out if you're interested, and help support the channel if you found value here as well. So if you enjoyed this video, you can ask your most pressing question. If your situation's a little bit different, in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know what kind of boat you're shopping for. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content. We're always producing more. And hit that little bell if you want to be notified when new stuff is out. And we appreciate it. YouTube has recommended a few extra videos for you. You can grab your toolkit, boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/toolkit, and hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date with all of the latest videos. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you next time.